Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Truth Behind the Magic. In this episode, we are taking on a topic which is, I guess somewhat controversial, because people do talk about it a lot. It affects a lot of people if they even come down, honestly. Some people decide not to because of this. But we're going to take you through this and hopefully give you some tips and just overall help on how to not bungle your money entirely while you're on the program. But in this episode, we are talking about the finances and budgeting on the program. So all things money.
Money.
Yes. So I guess to get started, well, the obvious place to start is before you even get down there. And I did round up some numbers because back in the day, it was expensive to apply. It was money. Like, it was a little bit of money. But now it's like, before you get down there, they've basically taken like a couple paychecks from you, essentially, or more, maybe 3, maybe a few paychecks, honestly.
Right.
Because the initial fee is $240. The second fee is over $200. The parking pass is $200 now. Which the first program I did it after COVID, it was like $80, and then they went way up with it. But so yeah, you're looking at like $650-ish spent before you even step foot on Disney property.
Right.
Yeah, so I know we talked about this in a recent video, but they really do get you before you even get there. They've already made some money off of you. Now, some of that does go towards your first week of housing. But really, they take money from you before you even get there. Yeah, I don't know if you had anything to say about that.
Oh,
that was kind
no,
of a
I was
long
gonna
topic, but...
Oh, no, you're good. I was just going to say, yeah, if you do the Disney World program, don't bring a car. Like, you're better off just Ubering or something like that, because, it's just too expensive. Because think about it, so when you start out, even no car, it's $400. Now, the second fee is new, because it just used to be one. Back in the day, it was one $200 and some fee. And even then, people thought, damn, that's pretty high. So now it's 2, apparently. So that's, so I would say definitely have at least maybe a K in the bank, maybe 1,500 in the bank if you can, because that's the way to do it. Now, remember, everything's different, including the economy. When I got on the program, literally, it was like, when I started, it was like $8 an hour, I think. So I was barely making my first ever job was at my college working at a buffet. I was getting paid $7.77, and that was like the big because minimum wage was like $5. So I was barely getting paid more than that, and so you got to put that in perspective. But so that's completely changed. But now I would definitely say, definitely make sure you have at least 1,500, maybe even 2,000, honestly, would probably be a safe bet, just to make sure you got everything covered, your fees. Now, we're not even including your ticket, your airline ticket to get there and stuff like that. So for all that, and if you drive, definitely be ready to depart with those dollars there. But I would recommend you have a couple, some money saved up, so you're truly able to start the program off right. And you don't have to worry about, oh man, I've got to wait for this next paycheck coming in, which it's like every paycheck at any job you start, it's gonna be sad. It's not much at all. I think it was
the first paycheck is like $80 or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna say it was like $100, $150, and it's like that's nothing. That's peanuts. You're not able. Literally, that's nowadays with the way groceries are. It used to be able to buy a week's worth of groceries or maybe 2 weeks for $100. No, now you need about 200 at least. So especially if you're metabolism's real high and you like working out and all that. So if you're doing that, then yeah, definitely have some money saved up, because no, that first paycheck's bad.
Yeah, that was going to be a big tip that I had, was, if possible, come down with some money. I know it's not possible for everyone because people are paying for college. This might be your first job. But if you can come down, if you can get at least like $1,000, you'll be able to apply and come down and make it. As far as the buses are concerned, I completely agree that you do not have to have a car. I plan to do like a whole video of us talking about this, but the whole program is set up so you don't have to have a car. Really, the big benefit of a car is going to get groceries. That's the big benefit that I got out of it. It makes that a lot easier, and I would say it probably is to an extent worth the fee. I also went to Universal a lot, so I pretty much had to have a car. But yeah, you don't have to, and in fact, I in a way I almost suggest not bringing one sometimes, just because if you're someone that's like nervous about driving or something, get ready to be in a constant state of being nervous, because if you think you've seen bad drivers in traffic elsewhere, unless you're coming from like New York City, get ready for it, because I do not regret using the buses one bit on my first program, because it took that entire weight off my chest of having to drive around maddening traffic.
Right, because it's not like you're dealing with just people from Florida who are bad drivers enough. No, you're dealing with people from different countries, different parts of the planet, where their driving's completely different than that of here in the U.S. or wherever you're from. So definitely, if it's your first program, do not take a car. Florida traffic is ruthless. Even if you're just walking, you need to be careful, especially at night, because that's, you can get got that way too. Literally, someone during the program, my program, sadly, she passed away because it was a red light. It was like 2 a.m, and this guy was from Florida. He went 80 miles an hour, didn't even stop, just kept going. And, and sadly she passed. And ironically, Disney didn't say anything. Still hasn't said anything. I thought, good Lord, I thought that they were going to have to apologize to like the French embassy or something for, something like that. Nope. No, nothing was said. We had a visual, they had a visual for the other college programmers, and that was about it. But no, Florida traffic is rough. And yeah, you just need to keep that in mind when you go there. It is definitely rough.
Yeah, and something else related to finances that obviously goes along with having a vehicle is the gas price. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're driving to and from work and that's just about all you're doing, a gas tank will last you a long time, I will tell you that. I drive a 2004 Monte Carlo SS, and it gets probably about 25-ish miles per gallon, which isn't bad for a vehicle of that age and being a supercharged 6-cylinder like that. But anyway, I was down there in 2022 during, the heyday of Biden's economy, not to get political or anything, but just with the way the economy is here.
Right.
It would cost me roughly $75 to fill up. And that would last, I'd say, about 2 weeks. So it's not like it's a massive price, and it's not quite that much anymore. It's still pretty high. But, that is something you'll have to contend with. I'd say you'll be spending at least $100 a month on gas, unless you just have something that gets like 50 miles per gallon and has a big tank. You might be good, but yeah, definitely something to consider as far as having a car that that does throw in a little bit more of a cost into the mix.
Right.
And talking about wages, because I know that was kind of mentioned as well, that was something I wanted to get into here, was when I started in 2019, it was $11 an hour. Now it's 16. They haven't changed it in the last year that I know of. I don't expect them to change it anytime soon. I think they would have been totally happy leaving it at 14, which is what it was, but a bunch of back and forth happened with the union and the whole, like, Universal building a new park. They're having, like, a wage war right now, trying to steal employees from each other. That's why I think it had to go up to kind of compete with that. But I did some calculations, because even though it's $5 more an hour now than it was back in 2019, I feel like you feel like you have a lot less money. Like, you come home with a lot less, because groceries, I mean, back in the day, I could spend like 40 or 50 bucks a week on groceries easily. Like, that was not even that hard to do. Now, like, I could not walk out of there on my last program without spending 100, unless I was just going in for a few specific things. It was pretty much impossible. But I did some calculations, like, as far as how much you'll be making per week, to give you an idea, because I know a lot of people want to know, like, how many hours am I going to be working, how much am I going to bring home in an actual paycheck after housing. So yeah, I did some calculations here. So it, well, first to preface this, I forgot to say, hours can vary extremely widely. You could be working 50 hours a week, or you could be working 24. I think 24 is the limit. It's either like 20, 24, or something like that. But I want to say 24 because I think they're not allowed to schedule you less than 3 days, which that would be 3 8-hour shifts. So I think it's 24. Go ahead. Sorry, I know I've been talking.
I was just gonna say, no, you're good. No, you're good. I was just gonna say, yeah, back in the day, like when your program was getting ready to end and you didn't extend, or even if you did extend, towards the end of the program, your hours would become less and less. You know, you'd go from, it'd be like 60 hours to 40 hours to 30 hours, and then finally like 24 hours, and then it, you know, once you get those last 2 weeks of 24 hours, that's when it sets in of like, man, it's coming to an end. And, you know, for some people it's great. They're like, hallelujah, thank goodness it's over. And other people are like, man, this sucks. But, yeah, that's something to keep in mind as well, is that, yeah, sometimes now I will say this, you're going to make a lot, probably not much. But you're going to work a lot, I would say, instead of making a lot. You'll be working a lot during the actual holiday seasons. So Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, stuff like that, spring break. That's when they give you those 80-hour weeks. But keep in mind, your paycheck automatically, like, you know, whatever the housing is, it cuts it right in half. So if you made, let's say, $1,200 that week, you know, $600 of it's going to go to housing right out of the gate. And then all the other deductions like health and Social Security and all that, your federal taxes, after all that, that's done. Now, I will say this. I did not have to pay state when I got back, but I know some people do, and then it gets even worse because now you're having to pay, because Florida doesn't have state tax. For those who are wondering, do you have to pay state tax while you're there? And the answer is no, because Florida doesn't have any state tax. So basically you're just paying federal, and that's good, but still as a result, you're still not getting as much as you could compared to other states. So that's just something else to keep in mind.
Yeah, so as far as taxes are concerned, you are pretty much guaranteed when you get back to actually get a refund, unless you somehow work like an entire year and you're working 50 hours a week or whatever. Maybe you won't. But I've never met the deductible. So I think my first program, I got like a $1,200 refund or something. Like you will probably see a pretty good refund. That's one good thing about it.
Right.
But yeah, I also did some calculations regarding how much money you can expect to actually see coming into your bank account after working. And what I did was I took kind of an average of hours. I said 30 hours because I think that's a pretty good number.
Yeah.
Because even if you're working 6-hour shifts, if you work 5 days, you've met 30 hours. So I did 30 times 16, which is $480 weekly. Wait, I also did a calculation for 40 hours. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes, because 40 times 16 ended up being 640. And the reason I did a calculation for both is because once you reach that cutoff where you've paid for housing, that's where you really make your money. Up until then, you're pretty much working for the man.
Right. Oh.
So what I did after that was I took the housing price, which the most expensive one right now is the one where you get your own room and bathroom, obviously. And that's $246 a week, which compared to what we paid on our first program, that's like blisteringly high. Because back in the day, it was actually advantageous to get one of the cheaper rooms because they were like $90 or $80 cheaper, and that was in 2019 money. Now the cheapest room is only like a $40 difference between it and the highest. But anyway, to get back to the calculation, if you work 30 hours, you can expect to see a little over 200. I have 234 on here for the raw numbers, but after taxes and stuff, you're probably just going to see a little over 200. And if you're working a 40-hour week, you'll see close to 400, actually. Somewhere between like 350, 400. So there is a big difference in the money you will have available based on the hours that you are working. I had my second program, we were working 50 hours a week, pretty much every week. Everyone there was just about. And I made bank that program. Like, I was seeing paychecks like I had never seen before. And this is when I was only making 14 an hour then. And I saw some paychecks that were over $400. So it does have its benefits working a lot, but 5 days is still what you want. Even if you make a little bit less money, that's pretty much the best.
Right. And I was going to say, for anybody who did the program, like, before they started doing the increase in pay and everything, because I think once I left the program, that's when it finally got up to, like, it was at like or close to the end of it, it was like 11 or $12 an hour. But yeah, when I started, it was 8. So you're wondering, like, man, overtime must have helped you a lot. No, it did not. They hate, and I mean hate, giving out overtime.
Yeah.
You know, they don't, if they work you 70 hours a week, do not expect like $1,000 paycheck. If you do, you better not tell a soul, because you know, your buddy next to you's probably just made like a few, like Jason just said, like it might be 400 for after taxes for 40 hours, 60 hours. It might be 500, might be 600. Like, that's it. Like, it's not this stupid bank of, amount you're gonna be like, holy crap, like this is a lot of money. No, not at all. So that's just something in mind also with overtime.
Yeah, I wish I'd saved some of my pay stubs from my last program, because I willingly worked 30 hours a week. It actually would have been about 32 hours, because I would give away a shift if I got scheduled 5 days, and I would just work 4, because I've done a program where I worked 5 pretty much every week, 6 occasionally, and then I did a program where I only worked 6 days a week, except for the first week being there. So I said, I'm essentially treating myself this time and just getting 3 days off every week. But I can tell you, those paychecks were not amazing. And then you take into account just using kind of 30 hours as the example, since that's kind of an average. Maybe a little higher would be the real average. Probably, like I said, 32. You're only looking at, like I said, a little over $200. Deduct at least 100 of that for groceries. You'll probably buy at least 1 or 2 meals in the theme parks every week. I tried to limit it to just 1 or 2, like I said. You'll probably end up buying some merchandise, but that's a big thing too. I've seen people literally squander their entire paychecks on merchandise. It happens to so many people. Just don't do it. Just stop.
Right.
You don't have to do it. That is a big thing that you can cut out.
Right. Now I will say this. When you first start, for like that first month, I think it's a month, you do have huge discountable benefits on your employees. So I think it's like 20%, and for us some things it's 40%. I think for maybe it's just 20% all the way around, but it used to be like 40% like merchandise and stuff like that, and 20% food and stuff like that. Now, it might have equaled out, I don't know, but no matter what it is, that's when you go get the stuff. Because once that ends, and then unless you go out to where they sell the Disney merchandise at a cheaper price because maybe something's dinged up or something, then do not buy it at full price. It will go on sale eventually. If you wait long enough and you go to, like we talked about in previous videos, if you go to where they sell for the cast members, the Disney merchandise for 50, even 70% off in the deep back, that's when you go get it. Do not go and get it when it first comes out, because it is way too expensive.
Right, and that was something I had that I wanted to talk about, was if you're someone that finances are really a big aspect and you need to make sure you do not spend that much, fall programs are actually cheaper than spring programs. Not literally, not in the fee sense or how much you get paid, but those holiday discounts start in like September or October. They start really early now, and they go up through like February practically most of the time. And that means you get 40% off table service, 40% off some quick service. Well, also at the resorts is where you'll see the real discounts. The parks don't always get the big discounts, but 40% off merchandise, occasionally even 50% off merchandise. They've done that a couple times. And yeah, I don't know if I already said you get the holiday coupons too, which I didn't utilize when I was down there. I think I used one of them, one or two, but those are a big thing, especially for table service dining and snacks in the parks. I mean, you're saving probably a couple $100 at least if you use those.
Well, let me tell you something right now.
If you can put it off. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, just real quick, pro tip, if your roommates or if the people you live with or whatever, if they're giving away their coupons, use them. Take them and use them, because let me tell you, they will save you a fortune and a half. It is for merchandise. It is for dining. It is for... I think even for Fast Pass, or not, I guess it's not Fast Pass anymore, but there's just the possibilities of the discounts are endless, truly, with those coupons. And when they give them, if they're foolish enough to be like, oh, I don't need these coupons, by all means be like, oh, I'll take them.
That was me.
Yeah, literally, because you can just stack them up. And then sometimes if the cast member's cool enough, you can, you're using a coupon with, you might be able to double up. That happened with me once. I think I had 2 40% off coupons, so it was 80% off. So you never know. You never know. But yeah, definitely, even just 40%, huge discount. Because you're talking, for example, if you wanted to go to one of those character buffets, now you're going from $60 Now you're going to more like $30, $40, stuff more affordable. A lot more affordable. So that's just something for Boma, a restaurant that we will probably talk about all the time. Man, was it good to have a discount there. Woo!
Yeah.
Best buffet on property. So, yeah, in our opinion. So, I mean, yeah, definitely utilize those coupons when they come out because, man, it's like a golden ticket. You got to use it.
Yeah, it pretty much is a golden ticket. Like, if you're kind of adverse to actually eating at table service locations, these discounts will probably allow you to be able to eat at quite a few of them. And I think actually that you mentioned getting coupons from your roommates. Did I give you mine when I left? Like, I feel like I did.
Yeah, you did.
Because I used like one or two of mine, so I think I gave you all of them.
Yeah, I think even Andre gave me his because you
were loaded up. Then you had coupons to last.
I was so happy. Oh, you have no idea. Oh, it was great. I loved it. Coupons. Yeah. Just like the great John Panette said, I know he hated coupons. I say use coupons at Disney. By all means, use coupons whenever and wherever you can. Man, because they are a lifesaver.
Yeah, so definitely, if you can, like I said, if you're really looking to save as much money as possible and it's critical to you, try to do a fall program, or what they used to call fall advantage. Well, actually, it would probably be better to just do a regular fall program because then you could extend after the new year and you would get the full holiday discount.
Right.
Pretty much the last few things I have on this are kind of just basic tips, life-saving tips. Not really, but yeah, like I said, try to limit your eating at Disney restaurants. Like, some of them are ridiculously good, and I highly suggest going there, especially with the coupons. But don't go to the parks 3 times a week and eat at a quick service restaurant 3 times a day or whatever. Just try to do it like once a day if possible. Eat before you go and when you get back or something like that. Because I do like eating in the parks, and especially getting something like a Dole Whip or something like that. You got to spend the money on that.
Right.
Steer clear of spending too much on merchandise. I know I talked about that too. My first program, I basically spent nothing on merchandise. That was because I had to take the buses, though, and I didn't really want to transport a lot. But the last couple of programs, I was buying that stuff left, right, and center. I mean, I went pretty crazy with it, but not like the people that spend their entire paycheck. I would try to find stuff that was on sale.
Right.
And yeah, I forgot to mention that on my first program, I think I came back with like, it was somewhere between like $5,000 and $7,000. Like, I don't think you can do that now. I'll be completely honest with you.
No.
I was there for 7 months, but even if you went for 7 months now, unless you like starve yourself, I don't think you can do it. But you still can. You still can make some money. I'll be honest with you, last program I lost money, but it was because, well, I was doing good for a while at the beginning. Then I decided to buy another Universal Pass, so it just went boom, as Don Rickles would say, boom. But bought the Universal Pass. That was like $600 or $700 gone. Bought a lightsaber because I hadn't bought one of the lightsabers there before. That was quite a bit of money gone. If you get the nice
merchandise, that's like $1,000, right? Those are close to it.
If you do the Javi, not Javi, Javi, that was one of my old roommates. He loved Star Wars. It should be called Javi's Workshop. Now, if you do Savvy or Savi's Workshop, however they say it, that's like $300, $250 or $300. It's an actual experience you have to book. Like, you get a little show that goes with it, and you build your lightsaber. It's pretty cool. My friend Javi actually did it. That's probably why I was thinking of his name. I think he's done it a couple times on each coast, but
oh wow.
Yeah, one of the lightsabers, and another kind of tip to save some money, they usually have a good selection of them that are like 30% off, because they're not the really popular ones. But I got Palpatine's lightsaber for like $100. Of course, you don't get to use your Blue ID discount on that, on the actual hilt. You can use it on the blade, a nice stand for it, so I used it on that. But I came out of there spending a couple $100 at least. But yeah, definitely attempt to limit your merchandise spending. That is going to be a big thing. Go to Cast Connection, try to find something there.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, no. Yeah, I would just say, take advantage of your discounts, take advantage of your coupons. Limit yourself. So like maybe now, if you go down with a lot of money, like if you're, it's kind of like the Mungo Jerry summertime song. Like, if your dad is rich, take her out for a meal. You know, it's kind of like that. If you're well off, you can go ahead, you know, or if you're broke, if your family's
all your
broke,
shifts away. Don't work at all.
If you're rich, go ahead. You know, you can basically do whatever. If you're broke, just do what you feel. You understand what I'm saying? You know, like, because you have to. You really have to budget if you want to. Because I remember I would ride the bus with people coming from the parks, and they'd be very sad. I'm like, hey, you know, what's wrong, bro? Like, well, I just spent my whole paycheck on food, merchandise, and this. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like that one meme, call me what you want, but you can't call me broke. that was how my program went. I was not broke. Jason and I were living pretty good, you know, with our budgeting skills. In fact, he even bought a guitar after his program. So that just shows you how.
I technically bought a guitar and an amp while I was on the program. I had someone go buy them for me. Like, they were at the local guitar center, but I saw them on the used selection, and I was like, can you go buy this? Here's the money. So I spent probably $800, $900 on that. And like nowadays, that'd be like a big hit to your paycheck. But I was towards the end of my program then. Like I said, I was making some bank in those days, even only making 11 an hour. So, but yeah, definitely. If you are responsible with it, you will make money. And the program is not about making a ton of money. It's about getting something good to put on your resume, getting to go to the theme parks for free, hopefully finding a friend group. So if you have the money to just kind of scrape by, it's okay. Like, it's good if you can bring some money home, but don't let that be your only focus. Right. Don't be one of those people that picks up, well, I don't think you can pick up overtime shifts as a CP, but don't be one of those people that picks up to 70 hours just so they can work as much as possible. There are a lot of full-timers like that. And just the last couple small tips. Take a water bottle with you into the theme parks. I didn't on my last couple programs just because I stopped bringing a backpack. I kind of got tired of going through the baggage check. But now, a lot of the times, you don't even have to do a baggage check with a backpack. You can just walk through. But yeah, that'll save you some money on Powerade and water. And my last thing would be, I don't know if you've heard of the store Publix. It probably doesn't exist where a lot of people coming down here are from. But utilize the Publix buy one, get one free. Unfortunately, if you're taking the buses, I don't think they go to an area that has a Publix. I need to check. But if you have a car, there are 2 or 3 of them within like 10 to 15 minutes. So go to Publix, do the buy one, get one free, or buy one, get one 50% off. It's kind of an expensive grocery store if you are not getting discounted stuff, but sometimes you can save more money than you've spent there, so that would be kind of my last tip on that.
Another tip for me, for sure, is like, if you're not a good cook, or if your cooking is new to you, my advice is, like, if you're not a good cook, hey, ramen, 30 cents a package. Live by it. Like, that's almost like a college stereotype, is to eat ramen, packaged ramen in particular, because, it's affordable. It fills you up. It's good. You can add stuff to it to make you fill up. Another thing I would recommend, if you are a cook and you do like to cook, find something you love. Like, for me, it was, we would have barbecue, butter chicken, stuff like that. And I would cook that not just for the day. I would cook it for the whole week. So that way, whenever I came home from working my shift, however long it was, I knew I had a thing of butter chicken, or I had a thing of chicken Alfredo or something like that. I could just whip out, heat it up, ready to go, and I don't have to spend any money. But I know meats and everything's gotten more expensive, so just keep that in mind when you do go to the grocery store.
Yeah, my first program, I really did not take care of myself, I will be honest. I was eating, like, Hot Pockets, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Nothing wrong with that, but I was eating that all the time, and it's because really the downside of the buses is that I kind of thought, well, while I was shopping, what am I going to be able to easily take out of here? So that kind of limited that. But when I've had my car, I've done pretty good. I haven't felt like I've really ate any worse than being at home. But yeah, you can definitely save some money on groceries if you just don't go for the top quality stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have for this. Really, the big thing was just utilize your discounts, be careful what you spend merchandise money on, and be careful how much you're eating in the parks. Those are like the big three, I would say, as far as budgeting.
Right.
I know some people like to really plan out their budget visually and everything. I wouldn't go, not that I wouldn't suggest going that far, but you don't have to. Just know, like, I hope we've helped you kind of understand how much you'll be seeing with a paycheck. Like I said, probably $200 or $300. If you're lucky, it'll be $300.
Right.
Might be less than $200. Then you go from there. It's all downhill from there. But I don't know if you have any kind of final thoughts on the whole subject or anything like that.
Yeah, I would say for me, if you're going into it, just make sure you're not talking about your finances to your other cast members and stuff like that. Because who knows, you might actually be making more than them and they don't know it. Because as far as I know, I don't think full-timers have gotten a big boost. And they were making, at the time, 2019, it was like 18 an hour, 19 an hour. So if they have not increased, but you have, probably best not to tell them how much you're making. I mean, if it's like, now if you want to tell how much you're making weekly, okay, but don't tell them how much you're making an hour. A lot of full-timers don't like that. I will just have my tidbit of advice there. But again, you can have fun. You can do it. You can do it on a budget. Again, if you're rich, you don't have to worry about it. But if you're not, like most of us, don't worry. You can make money. It's not going to be a fortune. You're not going to be walking away like Scrooge McDuck. But you will be, you will have all the money in your paycheck. So, yeah, definitely bring money. You'll get money out. Just follow the discounts and everything, and you should do well. Another thing, too, don't, if you're really into pin collecting or whatever, don't go crazy with it. That's probably my last bit of advice. Like, do not get hyped up into it, because those pins can go anywhere from 25 to $40 if you're not careful. Like, if you really want a pin, like, oh, that's $40 for a pin. No, I'd rather spend that on a couple of meals than just one piece of metal that has like Mickey or something on it. I'm a good Disney guy, but no.
Yeah, I knew some people that were big into that, and I never started it because I knew if I started pin trading, I'd probably get addicted to it. So I said I'm not gonna start this. But yeah, I guess that's it. Hopefully we've kind of shed some light on things for you guys and given you some things to think about on how to save some money. We certainly hope you have a good program and hope you make some money on the program. And we will see you next time.
Right. See you next time.